Coach Colin here. Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Joe Rogan hitting the nail on the head once again on several different occasions. If you don't know, breaking news, it was just discovered about an hour or so ago. Who knows how long the White House has known about this, but Joe Biden, I think the White House has known about this since about maybe 12 p.m., maybe even yesterday. Joe Biden has been diagnosed with COVID. He's experiencing mild symptoms, but I'm going to get into a little bit more of that with some clips. But somebody who predicted this type of thing happening was Joe Rogan, ladies and gentlemen, on several different occasions. Let's get to those clips right now.
They can't roll out Weekend at Bernie's and expect him to be able to debate or actually carry a conversation.
That's the plan. I think the plan is you wait until it becomes extremely obvious that Biden can't do it, and then they pull him out. And I think they probably put in Gavin Newsom. That's what I think.
He's hated, though, in California.
Yeah, but there's enough zombies out there that'll just blue no matter who, and he's our guy. They don't care. They're like, no one could have had California's just the population's too high, and it's like, what are you going to do? And they'll come up with some sort of a reason, and he'll move a little bit towards the middle. He'll do some common sense things and get people to go, all right, I like that, and that'll be enough.
They can't roll out Weekend at Bernie's and expect him to
They can't roll out Weekend at Bernie's. Aaron Rodgers was 100% right, but they can roll out Gavin Newsom. We do not know what's going to happen in regards to who's going to replace Biden, but we'll get into all that afterwards. I just want to show you the Rogan clips first. This is another occasion where he was talking about this same thing.
Basically, you can't prosecute this guy because he's not compos mentis, but you can let him run for the president of the United States in November. So that's the world that we've managed to get into.
But don't you think that that's a ruse?
What do you mean?
Him running for president? I think
you don't think he's going to run?
No. I think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to move him out. They're going to force him to step down. That's what I think. If I had to guess, and it's just speculation, I'd say they're setting up Gavin Newsom for it. That's what I say. That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me. I think more and more comes out about this stuff, and more comes out about the Burisma thing and the Penn State thing, where the Chinese donated money to Penn State, and then he got $1 million a year gig where he didn't even have to show up. That's old school. That's like mafia stuff. Was it $1 million a year? How much was it that he got from Penn State? And he was telling people he's a professor at Penn State. Like he's never even
That is 100% true. You can look it up. That is not a conspiracy, folks. And we got one more clip. And then I'm going to get into some CNN stuff and showing what the White House and Joe Biden's Twitter, which is not run by Joe Biden. I'm just going out on a limb. Couldn't prove it to you. But since he was at the debate with Trump and he was tweeting at the same time, I just don't think it's him anymore. That's just me. We'll get into that in a second.
May.
I think he's got until May.
No way.
I feel like right around May they're going to pull him.
No way.
Yeah.
And Newsom comes in.
I think he just has health problems, and then the country understands, and Newsom is going to have his support fully, and Kamala is going to I don't want to be president. I'm cool with being vice president.
So Newsom runs with Kamala?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they can pull Kamala. I think as long as they keep her quiet, she's already whatever liability she is.
Bro.
She's so quiet.
It's May.
I think he's got until May.
So he was a little off on the months, but he was throwing out months out there. I mean, this guy was doing the whole Babe Ruth thing. He's like, all right, I'm pointing it right over there. And he was he was almost there. Around May, then June came. We were like, oh gosh, this guy's surely not going to be the person. Now we're in July, mid-July, and now they're announcing this.
Positive for COVID. That, according to the president of UNIDOS, the leader of the organization that was set to host President Biden here in Las Vegas this afternoon amid a flurry of outreach that the president was doing to black voters and Hispanic voters as he tried to shore up support from critical constituencies. The UNIDOS president noting that Biden has done many more public events. He's been with crowds. He was just at a local restaurant earlier this afternoon filming an interview with a local Latino media outlet. And it was shortly after that word began spreading here in the ballroom that the president would not be attending this event to deliver his remarks that at this point have now been delayed considerably throughout the afternoon. There was an audible gasp in the ballroom when that news was delivered. But as the leader of Unidos explained that President Biden planned to address the group at some point in the future and said that they will continue to support the president in his policies and his efforts, there was some applause that broke out among the crowd. Remember, the second gentleman tested positive for COVID a little bit more than a week ago. So there has been some exposure in the White House from some people who have tested positive, but it's unclear exactly where President Biden picked this up. We know that he tested positive for COVID last in July 2022. He was treated with a course of Paxlovid at that time, and he experienced a rebound positive test just a few days after beginning of that course of Paxlovid. But we're still awaiting more information from the White House on exactly how the president is feeling, where he had this test conducted amid a time where there have been many questions for the White House about the president's health in particular, and at a time where he has been trying to prove to the public that he has the strength and vigor to continue campaigning and for a second term.
Good lordy Lou, what is going to happen? What do you guys think is going to happen? I mean, this guy is 146 years old. This is going to be tough. And of course there was an audible gasp from the people in the room. They're like, Dos míos. Oh, I touch his hand. I touch his hand. Of course they're upset. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Of course he saw the blacks and Latinos. We always get shafted in some kind of way, don't we? Oh man, it's not funny though. Because you know what? My mom's 10 years younger than Biden, and if she got it, I'd be like, oh no, I'd be very, very worried. So this is not, and this guy is lacking on sleep. The White House put out that he wanted to start going to bed at like 8 p.m. because he was staying up until midnight and all sorts of stuff like that. Terrible for someone his age, even if they were perfectly healthy. You know, the debate, the stress, the sun, the indictments, the this, the that, like, oh gosh, this is not a good situation. Let's just move on here. Yeah, tested. He's self isolating in Delaware. Let's just play this real quick, just a few seconds.
Mention just here quickly that we do have word here from the White House, again, confirmation from the White House that President Biden has tested positive for COVID. We have a statement here from Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre saying that he tested positive for COVID. He is vaccinated and boosted and is experiencing mild symptoms, she says. She went on to say he will be returning to Delaware, where he will self-isolate and will continue to carry out all of his duties fully during that time, noting that they will provide regular updates. And Selena, again, I know that you're reaching out to your sources there in the White House as well for more information on that. But in terms of Democratic support for this president right now, who is just trying to keep his campaign alive, trying to stay at the top of this ticket. And we have top Democrats either calling for him to pass the torch, or, Selena, top Democrats saying, let's delay this official roll call nomination for him.
Listen. A healthy person is going to need to sleep. A young, healthy person is going to need to sleep it off. He's not going to be able to do his duties while he's just at home with even mild symptoms is very worrisome for someone his age. He's going to have to sleep it off. I think this is going to be the last stand where they talk to him and they say, listen, we don't want your health to get worse. There's too much stress from all this. You know, I think that's what it's going to be. I think Gavin's going to walk in there. You know, it's going to be like a movie where you start to get scared, you know? You just see these nice dress shoes shine and just walk in. And the camera builds up and it's just Gavin's slick-backed hair, big Joker-like smile, and he just says, Joe, you know I'm old school, I'm loyal. You want me to handle anything for you, I'll handle anything for you. Oh, it's going to be that whole thing. Oh, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Joe hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of people reacting. Here's what I noticed before this diagnosis was told. This is a Sovereign Bra. He's a great follower. If you're on X. He's saying they're going to swap him out because this announcement came out. Breaking, Biden says he will consider dropping out of the race if medical condition was diagnosed by doctors. This was at 2:30. So when did they get this information? So let's say this was talked about around, noon, right? So just mere hours later, this whole diagnosis pops up. And he just said this is the thing that would make him reconsider being in the race. This is it. Because, medical diagnosis, obviously everybody's going towards, dementia and the Alzheimer's and all the things that we've seen little bits of, little huge bits of, whole debate. But, what he has right now can definitely fall under this. Again, at that age, man, it's a problem. It's a definite problem. Here's Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson got the news live. Let me work through a few seconds here.
Positive for the virus that Dr. Fauci created. So blame Dr. Fauci. Well, there it is. That's the breaking news.
Well, it's the setup. We saw it. The Biden administration just put out before this positive test that if he were to have a medical incident, he would consider opting out of the race. They are working to take him out. COVID is step one, and then they're going to have step two.
Wow.
Yep, definitely. I didn't even get to listen to that before I put this out. Yeah, a lot of people are just talking about it. Some people are saying this is his third infection in the past 2 years. So, it's not a joke when somebody that age has it. A lot of people are just saying he's canceled all speaking events. I think this is a done deal. You know what I mean? For sure. You know how crazy it must have been to hear pop, 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 pop. And then all of a sudden you look on the TV, you're Biden and you see Trump and he's like, fight. And it's the most iconic picture in American history. You'd be like, oh, I think I've come down with something. Oh my God. I can't believe this didn't work. I'm kidding. These are jokes, guys. I'm just kidding. So Biden himself, or Karine, because we figured out that it's actually Karine that works this account, that I tested positive this afternoon, but I'm feeling good. And thank you, everyone, for your well wishes. I will be isolating as I recover, and during this time, I will continue to work to get the job done for the American people. Again, I don't think that's true. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be doing it. I just don't. There's no way. There's just no way. And look at this. This is what they tweeted out just before the diagnosis. Just before he said this. He says, I'm sick. And then lower. Of Elon Musk and his rich buddies trying to buy this election. If you agree, help me buy this election. What? It's a young person running. You think Joe Biden would be like, I know what to do. Hey, give me my phone. I know what I'm going to do. I'm sick. And then I'll send this. And then I'll send the picture with the link to donate. I'll say I'm tired of his. You think Joe Biden's doing that? You crazy? I was just talking to my buddy. He's like, he has no idea what Twitter is. This is probably true. He probably has no idea. He's like, what? What's Twitter? He's like, of course I know what Twitter is. I used to have a Robin that would come by my window every single morning. The Robin would come, and I'd say, hello, Robin, and he would say, hello, Mr. Biden, and he would do a little jig, and I'd be like, all right. Oh, and we'd dance all the night through, and then he would go and clean the yard. I think he was a black man. His name was Robin. You understand? We used to have him clean up back then. That's why I like Kamala. She still cleans up. I like it a lot. President Biden, Kamala's the vice president. She's not the maid. What? Huh? Oh, my God. I thought I was vice president. Where's Donald Trump? I thought Donald Trump was the president. What's happening right now? Someone call Barack. Just joking. He said, I'm sick. And then somebody said, we figured that out. Silly stuff. But I think that's all. Yeah. And then just more announcements, man. But that's what's going on. Joe Rogan hit the nail on the head. The only thing I want to bring up right now is Gavin Newsom. Do you guys think that there are people who will vote for Gavin Newsom? I think there's some, blue no matter who, the blue anon types, as I like to call them. I think they'll vote for Gavin Newsom because they'll just be like, good, it's someone, it's not Trump, done. He's young, let's vote for him. He can smile, he can talk, good. California, even better. You know, I think it'll be that. I think Hollywood will come out for him in a big way because most of them are in California, Beverly Hills, things of that nature. But I don't see him getting the black vote. I see Trump's black vote increasing if Gavin Newsom steps in. I don't see black people liking Gavin Newsom, and I don't see them wanting to vote for Gavin Newsom. Straight up. Especially if you are black and you're from California. And when I say from California, I mean those areas, that Oakland, that Compton, those areas that are riddled with gang violence. Just, it's been decades and decades, and Gavin keeps saying that he's going to do something about it. There's going to be black people, because, the black and the working class, they're the most affected by the homelessness and the tents and all this stuff. They're going to be like, no, I see what this guy does here, I don't see it moving. I see Trump getting an even bigger push in the black vote. So we'll see. I see a lot of women moving towards Gavin Newsom. It's going to be the same thing that got Canada in trouble. Canada saw a young guy and he had nice hair. His name was Justin. Oh, he just had every single little thing that like a lot of women voters were moving towards. He was good looking, his hair, everything. And they voted him in, and it's been trouble ever since. And I think that same thing could happen with Gavin Newsom. All in all, I think Trump still wins, but I just think it's absolutely amazing that Joe Rogan hit the nail on the head, ladies and gentlemen. This guy must be tapped in with, actually, he is tapped in with his ex-CIA buddy, Oh, I'm not a part of it anymore. Joe's tapped in. Joe knows a little something. So we'll see what happens from here, guys. We will see what happens from here. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like the way he runs things. I don't like what he's done for the border. But I don't wish any harm on him whatsoever, and neither should you. I don't wish anything bad to happen to him. I hope he does recover. I hope he feels fine in the next few days. I hope he bounces back. Don't want to see. I wish death on no person ever in my life. I do not want that energy on myself. And also, I'm sure you as well. You know what it's like for someone you care about to pass in your life. Why would you wish that on anybody else? You know what I mean? So peace, speedy recovery to the President of the United States of America, Joseph, whatever your middle name is, Biden. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. It helps your channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.